Hi, my name is Piero from Evorra. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you how easy it is to enable an audience from the Evorra platform to your activation channel of choice. So previously, what you've done is you've set up or created an audience in one of the builders. This is an audience I've created earlier on in our advanced audience builder. You will see a button here on the bottom right-hand corner that's called Enable. You click on the Enable button and you are taken to the enablement checkout process for that audience. On the left-hand side of this screen, you'll see a series of activation channels. These are channels that you will have previously set up through the enablement setup flow, which I've covered in a previous video. What we do here is we specify how many or what's the maximum size of the audience that you can potentially send to your activation channel of choice. The reason that the maximum size is different is because sitting behind the audience that you've created will be various IDs that are attached to that audience. Depending on the type of ID, it will dictate which channel and how many audiences can be sent to which channel. For instance, if the ID is a hashed email, a consented and compliant hashed email, then we can send those to Meta via a custom audience send, or DV360 as a custom audience send, or Amazon ads as a custom audience send today. You'll see though that for some channels the number is bigger. DV360 via the Low to Me Panorama ID, via a Deal ID flow, or the Trade Desk via a Deal ID flow, you could send a maximum of 450 audiences to those channels. So what does that look like? So if you were running, let's say, a campaign to Meta, DV360, and you were also testing the Trade Desk at the same time, you could send the maximum amount of audiences if you wished to your Meta account. You could then send audiences to DV360 and the Trade Desk, but of course you could send a lot more audiences. So let's say you wanted to send 100,000 audiences to both the Trade Desk and your DV360 account, you could do that. Another thing you can optimize for here is the CPM at which that audience will be costed at. Each channel has slightly different CPM levels, and depending on the ID type, for instance, a hashed email ID will be slightly more expensive than a non-hashed email ID that we are sending. They are all consented, compliant, and addressable. They just affect slightly different CPM charges. So you can see here that you could send 100,000, as I mentioned, to the Trade Desk at a CPM of $1.64. We have an option to send here via the Low to Me Panorama ID, potentially 100,000 audiences as well, but for a lower CPM of $1.53. So if these are the final amount of audiences that you want to send, you can hit continue. One thing to note at this point is that because the audiences on Evorra are deterministic, they tend to be solid state IDs that sit behind those audiences. We deduplicate the audiences as much as possible before we send them to your channels. So we are sending as unique set of audiences to every single channel to maximize reach. If these were all of the audiences you were sending, then you could, with a high confidence, also control for frequency in the campaign. You click continue. Sometimes, depending on the channels that you've chosen, the Trade Desk here, because it's being sent as a deal ID via Pubmatic, we ask for a little bit more information, which is to specify the format that you'll be running the campaign on Trade Desk. If it's a banner and native campaign or a video campaign or both, let's say it's a video campaign, we can then optimize that deal ID for you on the Trade Desk via Pubmatic. Paying for audiences happens on the platform at this stage. All of our brands and agencies are set up with the ability to be invoiced at the end of the month. You choose the payment option. Of course, if you wish to pay for the audience via a credit card, at that point, you can do that as well. You confirm that this was exactly what you wanted to send. You confirm that you're being invoiced later. You accept the the terms and conditions. You press pay and enable. We then create those audiences for you. We take out all of the metadata around those audiences. We securely and safely send those audiences to the platforms you've asked us to. Once those audiences have been sent, we send you a confirmation email, which gives you instructions of what to do next.